Hey everybody, I'm Sean.
And I'm Steph.
And we right here are Rampant Design. Welcome to episode number 6 of Running Rampant, a show that takes you behind the scenes of Rampant Design. That's us and our company. And we talk a little bit about what it's like to run a small business. And then, of course, we take questions from you, our fine friends on the internet.
Yeah. On today's episode, we're talking about negativity, social media, and keeping it all together.
You know it. Ooh, so it's been a crazy week, huh?
Yes.
And we've got another crazy week ahead of us. We're going on a long shoot, so
yes.
That's... are there really like 30 days in a week or something? What are we doing? We always say yes to projects. That's... So anyway, this week's first topic is dealing with negativity. And we get these questions a lot.
We do.
And we deal with it a lot.
We do.
Yeah.
It's sort of part of it. It comes with it. It
does.
Part of life. It's with everything. It's not just owning a company or running a company. It's for everything. There's just a lot of negative out in the world.
There is, and especially when you put yourself online. It's part of the ecosystem. You've got people who legitimately feel like they have a gripe against you.
True.
Or don't like you just for whatever reason. Don't like the shirt.
True.
Don't like me because I'm a big guy or because I'm fat or whatever. Just don't like people in general.
Correct.
There's a lot of haters, a lot of trolls.
Yeah.
I used to get made fun of a lot for not looking like the quintessential computer designer. But who cares? I've paid my dues, worked in feature films, television shows, commercials, music videos. It's just weird. We deal with a lot of hate. Sometimes people feel like it's warranted, I guess. It's still mean, but sometimes people feel it's warranted.
True.
We want to talk to you about what it's like to deal with negativity and how you can kind of deal with it in your own life. I'm terrible about it. I'm not walking the walk. I'm learning. I am very much terrible at dealing with negativity. I'm the personality type where it pains me when people say terrible, horrible things about me that aren't even remotely close to the truth.
I'm not that way.
She's not.
I don't care. Whatever your opinion is, that's your opinion.
If this wasn't
I would prefer you keep it to yourself,
yeah.
But if you choose to tell me something that's negative and hurtful, I just don't take it to heart. Maybe you're having a bad day, whatever it is.
There's that, yep.
But in my world, you don't affect me. So when I face with negativity, it's in and out. I don't care what your opinion is or why you think that. I try to keep on our path and keep what we're doing. Sean, on the other hand, is not as forgiving, I guess.
No, look, if word travels, and if somebody says something awful about my love of my life, Stephanie, my best friend, my soulmate, my wife, my everything, if somebody says something terrible about her, I'm just the kind of guy who's like, let's name the time and the place and we'll settle this in person. I'm just that kind of person. So I don't like negativity. I try not to live in negativity. It really does harm everybody that is involved in. And if you're spreading a lot of negativity, at some point that will probably come back to you. So maybe consider being more constructive with your criticism if you truly believe you're critiquing something. Otherwise, if you're just trolling and spreading hate, it's probably not a cool thing.
True.
Our buddy Steven, who's the artist Voice, if you've never heard of him, you need to check him out. I'll put the Instagram link here and probably in the show notes as well. He had a really great quote about negativity.
Yes.
And I want to read it for you. It says, "You are far more valuable than you give yourself credit for. You are nowhere near as useless as you've considered." Let me try that again. I can't read. You are far more valuable than you give yourself credit for. You are nowhere as useless as you've convinced yourself you must be. That hits really hard for me because we've all been told we can't do something by somebody. And it's usually by somebody who means something to us, whether it's a parent or a spouse or a loved one, family friend, boss, whatever. Somewhere in your life, you've stopped doing something or pursuing something because someone has told you that you can't do it. 9 times out of 10, when they're saying that you can't, it's actually they can't. That's really how it works out. They're projecting their insecurities on you, and misery loves company. So if you can't do it, I can't do it, we all can't do it, let's be miserable together. Well, don't ever let anyone take that away from you. I mean, you talk about that a little bit about when it comes to art.
Yeah, I mean, you go when you're in art school, you do a lot of critique classes and you learn how to give constructive criticism, and to sort of take constructive criticism when you're coming up and, and you're in school. And I'm sure this is for film school and everything else. It's very difficult for someone to say something negative about something that you have just slaved over for the last couple days or weeks or whatever it is. And you have to, so in school, you sort of learn, your professors teach you how to do it and how to accept it and sort of pull out from it what you need to pull out from it, and then, forget the rest. So that's sort of the way we are too. It's just you are better than you think you are. Absolutely. And I think that's everybody.
But I'm talking about when you were teaching art in the formative years, somebody told you can't do this, and therefore you're no longer an artist. That's what I was talking about.
For everybody is creative. Everybody has a creative bone, and being an art teacher, you try to teach that to your students. And I've taught every kid from elementary to high school, so I've seen the whole realm of kids. And you get these kids, especially in high school, that come in and say, well, I was told I couldn't do that. Well, who told you that, and why did they tell you that, and what was behind it? Why? And so yeah, I believe that everybody has this creative gene, but somewhere along the way, someone told you couldn't do it, and that's not fair. It's not fair for someone to say that. So it's difficult.
Yeah. So bottom line, shrug it off if you can. If you're like her, if you're like me, find a way to process it. I find that a lot of the negativity eats at me. Your personal connections to everybody in the world is important. Surround yourself with people that support you, and also take the time out to support somebody else. If you can this week, do one thing. Try to pay this forward to one person, whether you know about them or whether you're friends with them or you don't know much about them. Try to spread a little bit of positivity. Now, I know some people might be like, well, this is like really flowery. It's really not. It's just that there's so much negativity in the world. You'd be surprised how one little bit of positivity goes a long way. We get every once in a while we get these amazing notes from people, and it just completely makes our day. So just try to be positive. And you know what? Some people are just toxic to you. They're not necessarily toxic to everybody, but there's sometimes that your personalities or just the two of you just don't mix, right? So it's important to cut them out of your life. If they're that negative and they're harming you, you can't be friends with or be associated with someone who's that harmful to you. And I know that's tough, but there's that old adage, don't burn any bridges. Well, in some cases, you have to burn a bridge to make sure you never cross it again. So if there's someone who's that negative in your life, do the right thing and cut them out. You'll be happier. It might be painful in the short term, but in the long term, you'll be happier, and probably they'll be happier too. Either that or just try to take the time to understand why they're being so negative to you, if you have the time and the care to do that. In some cases, I don't think that's worthwhile, but I believe that everybody deserves a little positivity, and it goes a long way. That's
so true. Be happy.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Don't be mean. Don't be negative.
Sometimes a little bit of, we love each and every one of you. That comes to our next topic, which is social media. We can't do any of this without you all. And the reason, and some of the negativity came about how often we post, right? Well, we're a husband and wife team. We are rubbing elbows with the big dogs, big giant corporations who have hundreds of thousands of customers who make crazy money. We don't have any of those. We don't do any of that. Our newsletter list is very small. Our audience is very small. We're still growing. We've only got 26,000 subscribers on YouTube right now. We're still a small company. And we used to even get made fun of by some vendors. Remember, they're like, well, you two can't do this. I mean, you all can't. We've been told we can't for so many years. It's like, it's like, well, what did I do to you? And we got made fun of from doing sales. We got made fun of for, emulating what Kohl's and Target are doing with holiday sales and special bundles and things like that. They made fun of us when we offered hard drives for the first time. No one will ever buy a hard drive. We shipped a couple hundred last year, So that's what it comes to with community. You all are our family. We love each and every one of you. Seriously, we can't do this without you. And the reason why we post so much is that we're sharing our journey with you, because this is all of our journey. Mm-hmm. We can't do any of this without you. If you all just got up and left, there would be no Rampant. We would just be sitting here going, well, hey, how's it going? And that's partly why we do this show. It's a way that we get to talk back to you in a format that works for all of us. So social networking, as it's called, is incredibly important for us. We love sharing our journey with you, and you're as much of a part of this as we are. So that being said, when it comes to social networking, Neither Stephanie nor myself are sitting there at Facebook or on Twitter or on whatever, just going, ha ha ha, post, ha ha ha, post, ha ha ha, post. No, 99.99% of everything that we post online is automated. We use Hootsuite, we use Buffer. Facebook now has some automation tools that are getting better. So it's all automated. So the average study was like, the average tweet lasts 9 minutes. So, Facebook feeds are filtered now. Instagram feeds are now starting to get filtered. So the odds are you're not going to get all of our content or even some of our content. So
right.
We're constantly posting because we're small.
And we social media is so important that just like we say at the end of our, running Rampant, is that we have to be on every social media because, this person over here may just do Instagram. This person over here may just do YouTube. This person over here does Facebook. Oh, I don't do Facebook. I only do Twitter. Or I only do Snapchat. So we have learned to be there's such a big social media world out there. And it's been, a learning experience for us to be part of it all and trying to, and it's a lot of work.
It is. It's
even though it's automated, you still have to put that doesn't automate the posts. So, Sean sitting there one day just completely filling out, a week's worth of social media stuff to be ready for that week because it needs to get done. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of wrangling as far as keeping things track of what's going where, what's saying what, when's this coming out, when's this announcement coming out. So that's a lot. It's a lot of work.
Well, that's a great segue to our third topic, which is keeping it all together. Now, I have to be 100% honest here. I am a complete mess. I do promos and I do the products. Now, not even all the products. Now, Stephanie is moving into product creation as well. I am a complete and utter mess. I am very unorganized. This ship would only sail because of Stephanie. I do my best to sink it. She does her best to keep it afloat. And that's just the truth. It's our personalities. I'm just laser focused on, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. And she's juggling a billion things. This is, first and foremost, I don't know why this doesn't get talked about. And we'll go back to keeping it all together real quick, but this ties into that. Rampant is a woman-owned company. Stephanie is the majority shareholder in Rampant. She is the glue that keeps us all together. Making the products is such a small part of a much bigger thing. My role in this company is not nearly as important as what Stephanie does. I don't know why the media won't talk to Stephanie. We've tried and we've tried and we've tried. And our PR agent, Kevin, he's done a really good job of the people who are receptive to Stephanie, to getting her out there. But the reality is everybody wants to talk to Sean. And I don't know why. My story is not that great. What's more important to me is this amazing woman keeping everything going. It is unbelievable what she does. I would literally jump off a roof if I had to do everything that Stephanie does. So that's the segue to keeping it all together. So why don't you just tell everybody a little bit about how you do what you do?
Well, first of all, we have very different personalities, and I think the company is successful where it is now because of how we are different and we think differently. So Sean is very creative, and I'm creative as well, but I'm also very analytical. I actually have an art degree and a biology degree, which is very strange for most people to think about. So I have both sides, and I'm very I try to keep organized, and I try to do the best I can with that. It's hard. It's a lot of work, but our personalities being sort of that yin and yang kind of thing go really good together. So that is first. Then for me, keeping us on schedule and stuff, I make lots of lists. I try to do things. I mean, I have lists here for the list. Like, here's a list. It's got crossed out a list. And then, I just have notepad after notepad after notepad. We have a list for what the show's going to be about. So I have show notes for everything, and I have more lists. This one has highlighter. Yeah. See, I get fancy with highlighter. It's just, I just try to stay organized and keep us on schedule. And, when we make appointments, Siri comes in handy. Hey, Siri, make a reminder for tomorrow at 2 to do something, or, order this, or get this, or make sure you turn this in, make sure this Twitter's done, and make sure this. So it's a lot of juggling responsibilities like that.
We should pay Siri.
Probably should. She's probably part of the company. Hard. Maybe we should put her on the.
Should give her some equity or something. That's crazy.
We use her a lot. Mm-hmm. It's easy just to go, hey Siri, do this, and she
actually
does it.
Siri doesn't like her, which is very funny. No matter what I say or how I say it, Siri gets it on point every time.
Siri and I have
a love-hate relationship. There's lots of not safe for work conversations between Stephanie and Siri.
Siri makes me upset sometimes. She doesn't listen all the time. But anyway, back on this. So we juggling everything together and trying to keep it all together is very hard. I mean, we have everything from doing the customer service to making sure and looking at sales from previous years and predicting what we're going to be seeing for this month or next month, and trying to figure out, okay, well, our sales pattern was here, so where's our sales going to go? Where should they go? Mm-hmm. Where do we want them to go? And there's always data mining and looking at looking at social media, like, well, what worked last year? What worked 2 years ago? What were people talking about? What were people saying? Mm-hmm. And then always doing research on what's happening in the industry. Like, okay, this person made an announcement. We have to be aware of that so that, we can attune our stuff to fit that. And if somebody asks us a question and we don't know what's happening in our own industry, we don't look very good. So there's a lot of information to sort of always keep track of, and it's just prepping for new products and then prepping for trade shows. And I mean, I have a clipboard when we go places. I have binders of.
The clipboard for NAB is this thick.
I don't know. I have a lot of responsibility as far as questions to deal with and things like that I don't need to worry about organization. I need to keep that as streamlined as possible. So me making binders with, I feel, what do you call me? You call me Leslie. He calls me Leslie Nope. If you were aware of Parks and Rec. If you've ever seen
Parks and Rec, she and Leslie Nope are very, very similar.
I like tabs, and I like binders, and I like clipboards, and I like lists, and it keeps me very organized, and it allows me to be up free for everything else that needs to get done. And there's a lot,
there's a lot, and she's glazing over. Customer service are two words. When you say it like, oh, customer service, it's not that big a deal. You're talking about every Facebook message, every message that comes in through our customer service channel on our website, which is through Zendesk. Somehow people figure out our direct emails. Somehow people write emails that don't exist. The phone never ever stops ringing. So there's a lot. So when you're deep in thought, working on a product or coming up with a strategy, and the phone rings, I'm not good at hitting pause and going over to this other thing. Stephanie's amazing at it. So our dynamic is, and it's amazing this way. She allows me to work on what I need to work on, and she handles everything else. So it's pretty selfish on my part, I guess, is the only way to look at it. It's not deliberate, and I love and thank the world for her every single day. But she's more capable of doing this than I am. When we first started Rampant, I was answering the customer service, and when people would start getting nasty just because they're used to treating people badly, I'm like, I'm not Joe Corporation here. I'm just a dude you're talking to, and this is not cool. I don't talk to other human beings this way. Why are you talking to me this way? Stephanie handles it a lot better than I do. And she handles everything. So I just show up and I work. I handle the social networking and the marketing and a lot of other stuff. But on top of everything else we're doing, like the closer we get to NAB, there's a million people emailing us going, hey, we want to know if you're going to give us some money this year, or sponsor this thing, or do some giveaways, or hey, you want to be in a panel? And we're like, well, okay, panels go over here to Kevin, products go over here to Stephanie, and it's just a lot. So hands down, women are better at multitasking than guys are, no matter what. I don't care what anybody says. And it's not just me. I see this all over the place, but Stephanie is the glue that keeps Rampant together. So, in my mind, she's far more important to the company than I am. I'm kind of interchangeable. She's very much not. So
you're not interchangeable.
Well, my point is, in terms of keeping it all together, I'm in the 0 help category, and you're in the 100% that's what you do category. So I don't. The only thing I do is I keep making products and I keep moving forward.
Which is a good thing. We need those products.
Yeah. Cat hair.
It's everywhere.
That's about it. It's a quick week that we've had, just an insane week working on all these different products. Stephanie is going crazy right now, in the middle of coding 5 new landing pages for our website, and all new products, and we're uploading to the servers right now. And of course, right when you need to, there's a storm and the internet connections go down, so we're waiting for things to reset. And we're just doing a lot. We got a big shoot next week. Then really becomes the mad dash for NAB.
Push for NAB.
I don't know why we decided to take on additional products right before NAB, but we're just crazy that way. We have a question.
We do. We have a question this week, and it's from Alex. And Alex asks, when you are coding a new site, excuse me, let me start again. Okay. Alex asks, when you are coding a new site for Rampant, how do you change and figure out what you want without updating the new look to the public until you want it to in WordPress?
See, at least neither of us can read, so I feel a little bit better about myself.
It's been a long week.
Oh, goodness.
Long week. Alex, this is a very good question. This is, I was talking about last week about WP Engine. They are an amazing host. We were on HostGator before we went to WP Engine, and I'm not a big fan. But WP Engine is amazing for us. I really like the save points, and what they also allow you to do is you can have staging sites, which is really nice. So you can actually copy your entire database over and play on it, and then you can propagate it back. Now, it's not perfect. There are some things that don't always transfer over, like plugins and things like that for WordPress. So that sometimes gets a little tricky. The other thing we do is again, with my list, I will show you, I make up mocks of everything. So like, for example, this is for, you see that? All these drawings.
Went back into focus. There you go.
This is a drawing, and every single thing that I do, I draw it up on paper to know what it looks like. I know I've been doing the web pages enough that I know as far as how to do spacing and all that stuff. So that basic coding, I've just been doing it long enough that it's second nature now. So I can draw it up and I can think, okay, this is where I have to go. This is what I want to see. This is how it needs to look. And then when I get it all figured out, if I'm doing say a product page, for example, I'll make up one that no one can see, and it just kind of stays as a draft in WordPress. And then when I'm ready to transfer it over, I can either copy the code or I can make that page live. Now, if we're doing a complete site rehaul and we're talking new theme, new everything, new plugins, and you have to do all that stuff, you can test it on WP Engine's staging site, but like I said, it's not perfect when you turn it over to be from staging to live, because plugins and stuff like that break and they have issues. So always do it late at night, and we typically try to do it on a weekend day that's not a work day for us. So I'm working on website stuff if we're doing a whole site design midnight,
2 o'clock,
2 o'clock
Saturday
in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's not trying to mess with what our customers are seeing or interrupt their experience on our site. It's very difficult. It's a very hard thing to manage, and I always cross my fingers when I do a site like that and just hope that nothing breaks, and it always does. So it's I hate it. I absolutely hate doing, even when I just update a theme.
Yeah.
When they go and they decide to, okay, we're going to put this new feature in, and I'm like, no, why are you doing this? Because then everything breaks. It doesn't matter what happens. So I can test
that plus
and
there's
test.
this software, this hosting that we use forces you to stay pretty regular, so pretty up to date.
Yes,
So
WP Engine does force you to stay up with the WordPress and updates, which are forced because WordPress has their security.
Big flaws.
They fix their security flaws when they find them. So then WP Engine always wants you to stay up to date with.
And that ripples down to plugins.
It does. It is just it's insane. So we just try to do late night changes if needed, and then if something breaks, I just have to scramble and fix it. I just spend hour upon hour upon hour just trying to fix one mistake, and it's frustrating. But it's sort of the nature of it. So I like puzzles. It's a thing, but I've had some coding nightmares in 2 a.m. and
That's true.
Just pulling my hair out, and most of those, when you get to that point, are just something so small, and I've missed it because I'm so in blinders on trying to make it work, and
that's where
nothing's
I come in.
working.
That's
and
when
then
I come
Sean
in.
comes in and helps me because I do get a little stressed.
So I sit down,
when
let's do this, and she's like, no, let's do this, no, let's do this. Okay, that worked. Like, it's just one of those things where you're so close to it and you're so in deep. It's like a 3D movie. So that's basically it for this week.
Yeah.
We're if anyone's there's the other adage too about negativity. If you're getting a lot of hate on YouTube, you're probably doing something right. I don't recommend it for anybody, but
don't put out hate.
Yeah.
It's not good.
But
Before we finish,
Yeah.
I do want to say thank you.
Yes.
We got the most awesome email from Jeb, and thank you, Jeb.
Made our day.
It did.
Made our day.
It really did. It's awesome to hear from you guys and
well, like
hear
I always
your
say,
stories.
we live in this bubble, right?
We do.
This is our life. If we're not in here working, we're just right over there working or back there working. It's always work. So, every room in this house is dedicated to some task for Rampant. So we basically live at work. Like I always refer to us as a space station. If I had to go travel to Mars, it wouldn't be a problem. I haven't seen the outside and I don't even know what it looks like. Sometimes I just have to Google what the sun looks like. So when we, amidst all this nonsense that we deal with every single day, to get this really heartfelt and actually quite lengthy email was awesome.
It means the world to us.
It made our day.
It does.
It was the best ever. So thank you. Thank you very much. So yeah, that's about it. Haters gonna hate. Don't worry about them. Try to shrug it off. I'm trying to learn that as well. So let's learn it together. Social media is important. Anybody tells you otherwise, they are lying to themselves and to you. And make sure to try to keep it all together. I highly recommend getting yourself a Final Cut Steph. It's what I did, and it works great for me. And thanks everybody for your questions. Keep your questions coming.
Yes.
Again, speaking of social networking, we are on runningrampant.biz. It's all about the biz. That's where you'll find the show. We have a vlog and a podcast version of every single episode. You can find our vlog on YouTube, on Vimeo, and runningrampant.biz. You can find our podcast on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and on Stitcher. Did I get all that right?
Yes.
You can also find the audio version, the podcast version, on runningrampant.biz as well.
That's correct.
So we've really made it difficult for you not to see this show, or hear the show.
Hear or see it.
Hear or see this show. So I think the next thing we're going to do is do something in 4D where you can touch and smell the show, maybe. That ought to be interesting. So that's that. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yes,
you guys are our
you.
world. Thank you for supporting us and continuing this thing going. You are as much a part of Rampant as we are. And one day, maybe we can all be as happy as she is. We got to bottle that somehow. Forget QuickTime effects. Just bottle whatever this is. I assure you it's not pharmaceutical. All right. So thanks again, everybody. We love each and every one of you, and have a wonderful weekend. Remember, spread some positivity this week, all right?
That's right.
Pay it forward, y'all. Run rampant.
Run rampant. Bye.
Hey, everybody, I'm Sean. And we're running rampant.